Hey, good morning guys. It's still pretty dirty out here. That smoke in the air is nasty. Air quality is not so great. But where did all those particles come from? So we talk about particles in the air and how smoke is bad for us, but let's work it backwards. Where did those particles come from? Now, we know from fire that fire has dirty parts to it, right? Those particles are coming from somewhere. And I can test this out working it backwards. Let's take a look at my little fire I've got here. And if I put this foil over the flame, I'm looking for evidence of where the particles in the air come from. And you see there, lots of soot. So I can tell there's lots of particles of smoke, lots of particles that came from the flame, but where does it work back to? If I were to take this soot and take it apart and put it back together, would I be able to make what it originally came from? Would I be able to build a new candle out of this? Would I be able to build a new tree from the smoke that's in our air right now? These are the things that lead us to the concepts of elements, that what put together to make larger components. What about water? We're going to talk a little bit about water today. So where did water come from? We know that it's a combination of elements. We have hydrogen and we have oxygen, and somehow they go together. 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. Water is one of the basic components of our living world. It is everywhere. It's in our atmosphere, it's in our geosphere, it's traveling through our biosphere. Water is so precious and important to life. Where has it been? I can take the water, I'm making some tea this morning. I can take the water and convert it from a solid to a liquid to a gas. So I can take water in the form of ice. This is a solid. Water as a solid. Still the same molecule, still hydrogen and oxygen all put together, but now it's a solid. I can heat that solid up and I can have a liquid, still molecules of water all put together, but this is now liquid. And I pour that, and you can see the steam coming off of that. Can you see the steam coming off of that? That steam, that water in the atmosphere, that water vapor, that is the gas. Still water up here, still water, but it is now a gas form. I'm gonna put this back in here because I'm gonna make my tea this morning. The water in this cup, it has molecules that could have come from the other side of the planet. They could have gone hundreds of years back in time. It could be water from the blood of dinosaurs. Where did this come? Did it come from the very earliest days of the Earth, or did it come from somewhere else? That's one of those questions scientists are trying to figure out. If we go back far enough in time, is there a time when Earth did not have water? As scientists, we look for evidence. We know that Mars used to have lots of water. We know that from the signature erosion patterns that we see on the surface of the planet. We know that meteorites that fall to Earth, these are rocks that come flying out of the sky. These rocks have water in them. We've opened them up and we've tested and we've found actual molecules of water inside them. One of the long-standing theories was that at one point in Earth's history, there was a massive bombardment of lots of these meteorites that came down, leaving little bits of water, and over time, a lot of them added up to these little drops, to oceans of water. That's where we think the water came from. Now, there is a new study in the journal Science suggests that maybe the water was here from the beginning, based on the composition of those same meteorites. But if those meteorites are telling us a little bit about what the universe was made up of and what the solar system was made up of at the very beginning when the planet was made, then maybe the water was here from the beginning. Well, this leads us to some other questions. And as scientists, we always have questions. I want you to think of some questions of your own. One of the questions I have is, well, if the water was always here, then why wasn't it always there on Mars, or always there on Venus? Or why doesn't Jupiter have oceans? Right? These are questions that we want to find answers to. Today I'm going to leave you some links to explore a little bit more about water and the water cycle. Hope you guys have a great day. Talk to you soon.